Back to Daytime, everyone. Queen of the Jungle, Kelly Diedring-Harris is here. We're talking about tortoises and turtles.
We are.
And there's a difference.
There is a difference. I'm glad you asked. That's one of the biggest questions out there, is what's the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? So I'm going to tell you.
Please.
Okay.
Turtles need access to water. So the ones that you see in water and the ones just like the box turtle that you're holding, those need constant access to water. Now, if you're a tortoise...
He's a runner, this guy. Every time
Why
I
does
put
he
him
need
down,
access to water?
That just is what makes him a turtle.
Okay.
So he doesn't get all the water from the food that he eats. Now, if you're a tortoise, you don't drink water very often.
Oh.
You're hanging out on land a lot more, and you get all the moisture that you need from what you eat. And this is a gopher tortoise. Now, turtles and tortoises are really, really cool. Some people are like, oh, they're slow and they're kind of boring. But when you start really researching turtles and tortoises, they have been around before the dinosaurs.
They're pretty smart, too, aren't they?
Oh, they're really smart. I mean, you saw this guy. He's obviously after something.
Oh, yes.
They are, and they're neat.
Camera 5.
He's on his way over.
There he goes.
And they're really... Don't let him fall off the table, Dave.
Please, Dave.
But they're neat little animals. Now, the gopher tortoise is a vulnerable species in Florida and throughout the southeastern United States. So you don't want to have a gopher tortoise as a pet. In fact, it's against the law.
Okay.
Okay, they are actually what's called a keystone species. A keystone species is...
standing up.
Look at him.
He's ready for his close-up.
He is.
But a keystone species is an animal that other animals rely on to survive. So gopher tortoises actually dig burrows that are sometimes 10 feet deep and sometimes 40 feet in length.
Wow.
And hundreds of other animals. It's estimated that like 300 to 400 other animals use those burrows to live, like the endangered indigo snake, all kinds of mice, insects. So they are a keystone species. They are very, very important to our natural ecosystems in the southeastern United States.
How big does that get?
About the size of a dinner plate.
Okay.
So believe it or not, this is about a medium-sized gopher tortoise, and they grow relatively slowly. I mean, when they hatch, they're about as big as your fist, or maybe a little bit smaller, and they grow pretty slowly. He could get about this big. Now, the box turtle is a common pet. And I never want to tell somebody to or not to get a pet. You want to make sure you do your research, but you want to make sure that you aren't pulling an animal out of the wild and bringing it into your home. So if you're going to have a turtle as a pet, you want to make sure that it was hatched in a captive environment where it's safe and you're not interrupting other natural environments.
Now, they call it a box turtle because it actually has a hinge, does it not? Where he can actually get in there
into like a
close
little
right
box.
Up.
That's absolutely right. And another common question about turtles and tortoises is about the shell. Now, can they come in and out of the shell?
No.
No. The shell is actually, the outer part of the shell is just like our fingernails. It's just like keratin. But the inside is actually fused to their ribs and their bones. So they can't come out of their shell, but it is the way that they protect themselves, just like you said. So the box turtle will pull all of their arms and legs into there, and if an animal like a raccoon or a cougar is trying to get at it, they can't get to them.
Just close the door.
Can you show us why you know that this is a boy?
I can. This actually is a concave...
It's okay, folks. Don't worry about it.
It's a concave area, so you can see it kind of dips a little bit. It needs to dip so that the boy has access to the girl, which would be down here.
That makes sense.
That's not in all turtle species, but in some turtle species, if you see the concave underneath, you're probably hanging out with the boy.
Does he like it when you touch him there, Kelly?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
How much responsibility is involved in raising a healthy turtle?
There's a lot of responsibility involved. They're a reptile, so you have to think they're not a mammal. They have a much slower metabolism. They need to eat different things. Before you get anything and bring it into your home, do your research. So these guys require certain lighting, certain heat requirements. You can't put them where it's too cold because they won't make it. And you're going to want to feed them vegetables and a little bit of protein, so maybe like mealworms or crickets. So you just do your homework. There's a good stuff in the library. You can get a book on them, or you can go online and get some good information about raising these kinds of animals.
Wonderful.
Very cool. Thank you, Kelly.
They're neat little guys, aren't they?
Always great to have you here, and always
us.
bring us such neat animals and neat information to go along with them.
Yeah, and these guys actually are all education animals from Nature's Classroom.
Marvelous. Well, we were just educated. And as always, it's a pleasure to have you here. For more information, go to daytimeonline.tv.
All right.
Lindsay's standing by. Linz, what's coming up?
Hey guys, thanks. You know, Peter Facinelli is a very busy guy, kind of like those turtles over there.